Hey everyone, it's Talia here. Welcome back to another video on my channel. I have the Luxio Fall 2024 collection to share with you guys, some swatches, and then I'm also going to show you a press-on nail tutorial start to finish for anybody out there who is curious how I create my press-ons. Also, at the very end of this video, there will be a giveaway for a little collection here, so stay tuned to see what you guys have to do for that. So the Akzentz Luxio Fall collection for 2024 features 6 different colors with it, and something that I like that Akzentz does is they offer these little mini options for the releases. The little mini kits are limited edition, so once the mini kits are gone, they're not replaced, and they're only available during the launch. However, it's a really great way to actually try out the different colors to see like which ones you end up using quite a bit of. First shade up is my personal favorite from this collection, and this one is called Grace, and this is a sheer gel polish, so it's meant to have like that milky kind of see-through look to it. There are 2 reds in this collection. The first one up is called High Roller, and it is the perfect creamy bright red, and it applies like a dream. This is a perfect fall orangey yellow type of shade. This one is called Patina, and this is a semi-sheer one as well. And I did 2 coats for all of these, so I would do 1 more coat for this if you wanted a bit more opaque. The second red in the collection is a little bit deeper, and it kind of reminds me of like a brick red. It is very beautiful for this time of year. This shade here is a beautiful, like creamy, silky type of color. I love these type of colors for backgrounds for nail art. Personally, I love working with green gel polishes, so I'm always on the hunt for a good one, and this is a really nice fall tone, but also a versatile color for all year round. So now, if you are new here, I am a professional nail technician and I no longer really work on clients. I am doing like the nail art of my mom's nails every once in a while, but I create press-ons. And so I get asked all the time, how do you create press-ons? What steps do you do? And I thought this would be a good way to show you guys, as well as talk you through some of my favorite products that I use for it while creating a fall set of nails. So the first thing that you guys are catching me doing here is sizing my clients' nails. Many of my clients that have like kept with me for press-ons through my press-on journey, I know their sizes because they've been with me for so long. So we're creating a set of nails for Megan today, and you guys have seen me create for her before, so I've got all of her nails down. But if a new client orders from me, then I get them to order a sizing chart. It's just the easiest way for me to make sure that I've got the correct sizes for them. And because I'm spending a lot of time on these, and these are something that these clients can wear over and over again, I want to make sure that they have their exact sizes. It's just the most foolproof way to get them to have the proper sizes on their nails. So hopefully that answers that question as well. So I actually use the little sticky tabs that you can adhere press-on nails to hold my little stands. That way it's clear when I am filming, and also it holds them really well. I don't have to replace them too often, but when you do have to replace them, it's kind of a pain in the butt. But when I'm prepping my press-ons here, I file the like little tab that's on the end. I'm using the Opre medium round tips here. And then I also take like a little buffer and just make sure that it is smooth on top as well, because sometimes when you file the free edge of the tips, there is like a little thing that hangs down. And if you just put polish right over top of that, then you're going to have kind of like a mess on the free edge of the nails. So I definitely recommend making sure that you are buffing and filing that little thing off first. But I don't actually like file my press-on nails when I'm creating them. I use the Opre Gel X Tip Primer. This works really good. It's kind of like a liquid etching, and if once you apply it, it just air dries, but you can kind of feel like the stickiness of it, and so it kind of acts as like a two-sided tape. It adheres really well to the nail tips here, but then all of my next steps going forward adhere to the nails as well. I wore press-ons for quite a while as well, and I had no issues with any of my colors coming off by using this product. It works great. A lot of times when I'm creating press-on nails, I don't exactly know what I'm going to be doing on the nails until I get started here. So I like to suggest starting with like your background colors first. At least that's usually where I start. So that's what I'm doing here is I am prepping 2 nails on each of the hands, and you'll see that like you can kind of see the nails angled in the back there. The one that's like on the top left, that's technically my client's like right hand, and then my other one there is their left hand, and I kind of just pretend that my client is like sitting right across from me. And that's how I set up their nails. So I am doing both the ring finger and the middle finger as my background color for this particular set. I knew that I wanted to create some cute little pumpkins on here, but I just wasn't too sure what else I was going to do on the nails yet. So I knew that the pumpkins were going to be on these nails, and I wanted like 2 on each hand. That was basically as far as I knew what I was doing for the press-ons right now. But as you can see, these gel polishes apply really, really nice and creamy and smooth, and they almost kind of like melt when you're applying them. They're really, really nice to work with. And when you're working on press-ons here, you obviously want to keep them really thin. Same thing for working on like human people's fingernails as well. But something that I really appreciate from the Luxio gel polishes is that they look like jelly after they've cured, and not all gel products look like that. So like some of them after they've cured, they look more like a painted on type of product, but these look like jelly, and I love that about it. And being like a professional nail tech for over 15 years, I've seen like a lot of changes in different formulas with gel products on the market. But something that I love about Akzentz is that it just reminds me of like old school gel from like when I started, obviously, because this is the brand that I was trained with. But working with the gel polishes, I get that same type of like original gel polish feel. And using them now on the press-ons, it really, really works with it. Like I just love working with these colors. So I did apply some of that patina on the thumbs, and then the green color on the pointer finger. And then I wanted some bling on these nails because I knew I wanted to incorporate some coppers or some golds down the road. So I'm grabbing this one here from Akzentz. And first up, I took way too much product on my brush here. I'm trying to like work it out, but you can see that it's like it takes me a little bit. Actually, I end up having to wipe some of it off because you do not need much of this product at all. But I am gonna do one coat down, and then I am gonna do, yeah, there's me wiping the brush off there because there's way too much on there. You do not need much of this stuff at all. Okay, now for your second coat, you want very, very, very little on your brush, and you kind of want to apply like a little bit more pressure, and that's going to give it like a full, like burnished type of look. And it's also going to make it so that it's not as streaky looking too, like you're not going to see the brush strokes. I'm basically just kind of like pushing the product onto the nail. I love working with products like these, it works so good. But I am just going to go in and do a couple second coats on these nails, and then this is what the color palette ends up looking like for my backgrounds. I, at this point, wasn't exactly sure if I was going to do leaves, plaid, like what exactly was going to happen, but I knew I wanted to get those little pumpkins done. So for the little pumpkins, I'm going to take some of the patina color and then some of the green, and I knew I wanted one nail to have like a green pumpkin on it and one to have like the patina color on it. I'm going to start by first loading up my brush here, and this is the art brush number 3 from Akzentz. I've talked about these brushes in a favorites video before. I really, really like these. My favorite thing about the Akzentz brushes though is the price point. I just think you just can't beat them for good quality art brushes. But I'm going to start by outlining where I want my pumpkins like outline to be, and then I'm just going to pull down that excess product to kind of fill in the pumpkin with this brush. That's one way that you can do this, especially if you do like your outlines really thick like I did there. But another way that you could do it is you could just take like the polish bottle and fill your color in, like your pumpkin in that way. We end up doing that with a couple other colors. And then after I have my pumpkin down, I am going to go and like just clean up the outline just a little bit. This doesn't overly matter though, because we are going to outline in black at the end. I like to suggest to start in like the middle of your pumpkin and then come out. I found that to be the easiest way to draw these. But these are supposed to be like misshapen and not perfect. Like you want them to be like a little wonky and every single one of them different. So definitely don't spend too much time on this. Essentially, we're just creating where our pumpkins are going to be. It's the outlining that you'd want to spend a little bit more time with. I can't help but use these flakes all the time, so I am gonna drop some of them in the dispersion layer of the green and the orange pumpkin here. These pumpkins are fun because you can create any sort of centers here. You can make them like plaid, or you can make them like a really fun swirl design, whatever you're kind of feeling. I really appreciate that about this design. You can just make it whatever you want it to be, but adding a little bit of these gold flakes just gives it a little something extra. So I'm gonna put them down on the green nail here, and then I'm also gonna put them down on the patina color, and I'm trying really hard to not get like big chunks of them. I just want some small little flakes, and this brush helps do that, as well as working from the lid. We are going to go in with the Akzentz Shine On Top Coat. This is one of my favorite products. I really, really love working with this top coat, especially when you're working with different nail art. I find that it kind of like encapsulates your nail art really, really well. But the reason that we are doing this is like, one, to kind of encapsulate, also create like a smooth surface to do our hand painting on. If I was to go in and do my hand painting on top of those flakes, it would just get a little bit wonky. And also the smooth finish of the top coat allows for your brush to kind of pull through the design a little bit easier. So I definitely recommend going in with a top coat, whether it is a shiny or matte. I find shiny a little bit easier to work on top of though. We are going to do a little bit of nail stamping, so I'm just going to remove the dispersion layer off of the thumbnails as well as the pointer, which I don't think... Did I do the pointer here? I can't remember. But anyway, I'm going to remove the dispersion layer because if you go in and stamp on top of a dispersion layer, it's just going to smear. A lot of times if I'm working with like chrome stamping or anything, you guys will see me do a matte top coat. I prefer stamping on top of matte, but you can just remove the dispersion layer as well and stamp on top of it. So we're going to start with this plaid plate first. You saw me using the little see-through enclosed thing that comes with it to kind of figure out what plaid I wanted to do. I was also kind of playing around with like the different color options of what I wanted to do. I did like a creamy gel polish first, or not gel polish, do not use gel polish for this, stamping polish. I went in and did like a cream type of color, and then I did the green on top of it, which you guys are gonna see here. It's okay, I like it, but I actually love when I do plaid with some sort of metallic finish. So I stamped this down and decided to completely remove it because I did want to go in and do a metallic stamping. So I really liked how the green looked though. I thought it tied the green in nicely, so you can see the green stamped already on the nail. And then I'm going to go in and do this gold on top of it. This gold is one of my favorite stamping polishes as well. I just think it is just the perfect gold color. And then on the other thumb, I'm going to do the same plaid image. However, I'm going to mix up the colors a little bit. Instead of doing a green, I'm going to go in and do the creamy shade as well. This is going to help tie the rest of the colors of my palette together. But I love making the nails all different. Like, it's very rarely that you'll see like the left and the right hand the same on the sets that I do. Another one of my favorite fall plates is this leaf plate. I believe this one released last year, but I was really happy to see that DK Beauty brought it in. They actually brought in a whole bunch of really great fall plates, some of my personal favorites. And this one I love doing this exact technique with, where you kind of like marble two different stamping polishes together. In this case, I'm going to use like a gold at 123 as well as like a coppery type of color, which this coppery one again is another personal favorite of mine, especially for fall time. But I like stamping that down first and then going in with like a dark brown on top. The shading of this stamping plate looks really cool if you do some sort of marble design as your background. I'm going to stamp two different little leaves on this nail, and then on the other pointer on the other hand, I do one big leaf as well. And I do the exact same technique with like marbling the stamping polish colors here. This stamping polish you guys have seen in so many favorites videos. This is number 60, and it is the perfect brown stamping polish, especially if you want to do outlines but you don't want it to be too bold like a black color. This color works really great for it, and I especially love it with this stamping plate because look at that, it just makes it look so good, especially when you do like metallic colors as the background. And I do really like combining metallics with creamy too. Definitely play around with your marbling of your stamping polish because you can come up with some really fun things with it. So speaking of fall and Halloween nail art, I do have an online nail workshop coming up. It is a Halloween workshop where we're going to do 5 Halloween designs as well as 5 fall designs. And we're going to work with so many different nail art mediums. So if you guys are ready to like bust out all your Halloween nail art and do some fun designs, you should definitely consider joining my online workshop. The workshops never expire, so you can watch them whenever you want, but it will be online on October 3rd, and it is currently available for pre-sale pricing. So this is like the cheapest way to sign up to my online workshops, but they are filmed in like a live format, so you guys can see like how I come up with the designs and the different type of nail art that we do. They're really, really fun. I've got 10 of them up now, which is pretty crazy, and I have to say huge thank you to you guys for supporting me on those because I have way too much fun with them. So if you're looking for some more tips and tricks on different nail art and like actually working with me through the different designs that we create in the workshops, definitely check them out. When you're hand painting these little pumpkins, I recommend starting with like the inside one first and then going in and doing your outline. I found this was a little bit easier to create like all the different bumps that you want. We're gonna do another one here and I'll show you exactly what I mean, but this brush works really good if you're creating like thicker type of lines. Like this one, I wanted the lines to really stand out, and I am just loading my brush and getting a little bit of it on. And then for the leaf, I'm going to go in and do like a line out, a line straight across, and then I'm going to like curve my brush in to make the little stem. I hope that kind of makes sense. I wish you guys could see my hand motions right now. And then I'm just going to try my luck at creating like a little swirly thing hanging off of it. I really struggle with like hand painting these type of swirls, but I was definitely willing to give it a go here. And I recommend curing in between any lines that you were scared that you're going to bump. So if you paint a line down, you're like, wow, that looks really great, just cure it. Who cares if you haven't done the rest of them yet? Because like luck will have it that you'll probably end up smudging that one that you really liked. Especially if you're going to do like the little swirly line here, like cure that for before you go in and do that. So you'll see that I started with like the inside of the pumpkin first. And again, these lines don't have to be perfect. Like you kind of want your pumpkins to look a little bit like wonky as well. I think wonky pumpkins look so cute, like on nail art for fall time. It just looks like, I guess, like a little bit more realistic, but you can really see like the gold flakes popping in this design too. It turned out really cute. I've been wanting to play around with these cute little free edge pumpkins. I did decide to make some of the pumpkins like go into the corner of the nail and then some on the free edge as well. Another favorite product of mine lately is this Akzentz Matte On Matte Top Coat. So this is a really interesting top coat because if you want it to be like super velvety matte, this is the one that you're gonna want. It actually seals over stamping really well as well, which is something that, especially with matte top coats, sometimes matte top coats can smear stamping and this one doesn't. But I'll show you guys what it looks like when we wipe it off soon. The other nails I'm gonna go in and do shiny. I did think about making these leaf ones matte though because I do love like the metallic color when it's matte, but I also love it shiny, so we decided to do it shiny. And then I am going to go in and do a top coat over top of these little pumpkins here because we want to seal in that black. Just make sure you're working nice and thin, but that's something that I like about the Akzentz top coat is it really seals everything in really well. If it does feel like the lines are a little lumpy and bumpy still, just hold your nail upside down and the Akzentz top coat will like glide over top and like seal it all in here. Okay, now for the best part. So we are going to use a gel cleanser here to remove the matte, their dispersion layer for the matte top coat, and watch. It's just so beautiful. It works so good every single time. I recommend using like a gel cleanser for this though. Alcohol doesn't get it like as matte as you want it to be, but it just works so good. It just makes me so happy every time I do that. And here is how the design turned out. These are just perfect for fall time. I love the complementary like plaid with it as well. And I really like this color palette. I think it is really fun too. So now for the giveaway. So I was sent this little wedding collection from DK Beauty, but I already have this collection. It was something that I wanted to get because it is just a really fun collection. We're going to go through it right away. But if you want to enter the giveaway, you have to be a pro nail tech. Comment below and let me know what your favorite thing from this video was, and I will pick a winner in about a week's time. But I did want to go through the shades with you guys. The first color in the collection is called Veil, and this is kind of like a peachy, milky, see-through type of color, but then it's got flakes in it that are like orange orangey and pink. I really like this color. I actually used it in one of my online nail art workshops, and we did this really fun fruit design with it. It is a great color if you want to do any sort of ombre type of nails. And then we have this color here. This is like a white shade as well, and this one is going to be so good for winter nails, for like snowflake nails. And I like that the flecks in these ones are like a little bit of an iridescent gold type of color. I think this one is just going to be a staple for the upcoming months. And then the last shade in the wedding collection is this really pretty pink color. I just think this color is so pretty, and it's got like flecks of like white and silver in it as well. It was really nice to see these type of shades from Luxio because they don't typically come out with a bunch that have a whole bunch of different glitters and stuff in them. So I think this is just going to be such a fun collection to use like throughout the entire year, which is why I wanted to get the big ones of it when I did buy it. But thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. It was kind of like a fun, like swatching and tutorial type of video, but definitely enter the giveaway if you are a pro nail tech, and comment below and let me know what other sort of tutorials you're looking forward to in the upcoming months.